And ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Welcome to the official collegiate home of esports. We have Level Next Fall Champion Series continuing this week. It's week 3 of conference play. I'm your host, Chris Puckett, alongside the one great user, the former Carolina champ. Sorry you lost the title yesterday, but hopefully they let you go back and compete for the throne in the future. User, how are we feeling here on a Wednesday night?
I'm feeling good. Besides you bringing that up, yes. I'm no longer the Carolina Panthers champ. Shout out to Mano. He wins it for the 3rd time. Obviously, since I'm in the booth, can't nobody else get the job done, Pucky.
Right? Yeah, we saw that last night, but I'm hoping I'm going to be talking to EA's lawyers. It's like, please let the one great user go back to fighting for his crown. We also got to welcome back in Adam Witten. You saw him on week 1 for conference play. He's back after calling some games for Appalachian State. And Adam, we saw some weird stuff going down in the real life college football.
Yeah, well, 2020 has just been weird all the way around, and college football is a great representation of that. User, I want you to know I would have never brought up that moment for you. I would have let that slide. So just so you know, I'm on your side here. That's because you would probably do bad things to me if we ever met face to face. So I'm going to let that one go. But yeah, I mean, college football has been crazy. The whole sporting world has been crazy. Teams that are traditionally not powers in college football have become powers in 2020. And, we're going to see some of that here tonight, where you're going to see some teams representing some schools that don't typically have a ton of success in college football that are doing really well in this Madden challenge.
That's right, chat. I see you guys. I will acknowledge you this early in the show to let you know, yes, we got more giveaways tonight, so stay hyped. But also, get hyped for this. We have the biggest collegiate Madden tournament of all time with the biggest prize pool in history, $150,000 over a 2-month-long event. We started back in November with the qualifiers. We're working our way all the way to January 17th. Let's take a look at the format and how things broke down here, gentlemen, because we did the qualifiers. We already know who is going to represent each of the 390-something schools, but now we're in conference play. You got to finish in the top 4 here if you want to make it to step 3. That's our conference and regional championships, and it all leads up to the national championship, where on January 17th, we will crown our national champion and find out who is taking home that lion's share of the $150,000. It's pretty simple stuff. Today, you're playing within your conference, and here's a look at how the schedule is going to work. We're starting with Heat 1, 6 games going off at 7 o'clock. We got 6 more at 8, and we'll close it out at 9 o'clock with another round of 6. It all leads up to our match of the week as Boise State takes on South Dakota in a matchup that I know you're pretty fired up here for, Adam.
I really am. It's a great showdown out of the West region. And, this is kind of what we've talked about as a theme over the first couple of weeks, where the heavyweights that you think of in college football, it doesn't necessarily translate into this line of competition. And so South Dakota is a great example. They're an FCS program going up against a team that is traditionally very successful in college football in Boise State. South Dakota's coming in with a 9-1 record tonight. So this is going to make for a very intriguing match of the week.
That's going to be a great one. That all comes up at 10 o'clock for our match of the week, but we're starting it right now at the 7 o'clock spot. We've got some huge games. Not only is it Fairleigh, Dickinson, and Drexel, both 8-2 teams, but also we got some undefeated squads. User, tell me about the big one you see here in Heat 1.
Has to be Vanderbilt versus Tennessee. Both of these guys are undefeated, 9-0. You got Justin from TNC, and then you got Connor Myers. I don't know where Connor Myers come from, but they call him Rocky Top, and all I know, he's a great Madden player. As you can see, he's undefeated. I want to see which guy is going to take the lead tonight and be the leader in the SEC.
Rocky Top in his first ever competitive Madden tournament, trying to stay undefeated. We talked about the SEC rivalry. We are now going to talk to our SEC rivals. Let's listen in. This is Vanderbilt and Tennessee players representing their schools tonight. Don't you hate it when the replay machine is just on fast forward and you can't slow it down? And then when you do slow it down, it stops the audio. We're going to fix that and get it to you guys a little bit later. But big shout out to both of our players competing this evening. To go 9-0 throughout the first 2 weeks, it's going to give you a huge lead in the standings. And Adam, we talked about at the top of the show, each conference, it's all about the top four here. As we take a look, Tennessee 9-0, Vanderbilt 9-0. We've got Kentucky at the number 3 spot alone, but look at this. 4, 5, and 6. They're actually in a 3-way tie for that 4 spot as LSU, Georgia, and Texas A&M are all vying for that final position before the conference championships.
Yeah, rightfully so. User highlights that Tennessee Vanderbilt showdown that we're going to see in Heat 1 tonight, 2 9-0 teams. But to advance to the next round, you have to be in the top 4. So Kentucky, LSU, Georgia, Texas A&M, all within a game of each other. And there's Auburn at 5 and 4 at 8. So this is where the competition really starts to get interesting this week and then next week as we wrap up regular season play. Who's going to climb into those 3 and 4 slots should Tennessee and Vanderbilt come up with the 1 and 2 spots?
All right, well, we did talk to Connor Myers from Tennessee and Justin Emanuel representing Vanderbilt. The players, this is what they had to say.
My name is Connor Myers. My gamer tag is RockyTopCM44, and I'm representing the University of Tennessee.
All right, my name is Justin Emanuel, and I'm representing the Vanderbilt Commodores. So far in the SEC, I don't want to toot my own horn. I've kind of been steamrolling the competition. So I'm hoping I'm going to come out. I'm going to call double post pretty much every play on offense. I'm going to see if he knows how to stop it. And I'm willing to believe that he probably will not know how to stop it, honestly.
Vanderbilt is an insanely talented Madden player. I haven't watched much competitive Madden in the past, but he's the best Madden player I have probably ever seen. So I think that it'll be a really tough matchup, but I'm going to give it my best shot.
I would say most Madden players kind of tend to be like an offensive or defensive player. I wouldn't really categorize myself that way. I think I'm pretty well-rounded on both sides of the ball. I would say my biggest weakness, I tend to throw to the other team way too much.
What I'm going to have to do if I'm going to beat Vanderbilt is defensively, I'm going to have to force him to make some mistakes and make some throws he's not comfortable with. I noticed a couple times that he would throw some picks whenever the field would get shorter in the red zone.
I mean, right now I'm expecting to win the SEC, so I definitely want to get that done because that's an easy path into the final 16, and I think the first prize, $20K, that's definitely the final goal. So winning the SEC, that's just one step closer.
Huge battle in the SEC, and you already saw Justin Emanuel was able to take down the Texas A&M squad that is currently vying for that Final Four position. Tonight, though, only one of those squads will go undefeated, and you better believe it, we'll be joining them as soon as that game is ready. But gentlemen, I want to get started here with the second best match here in Heat number 1. This is 2 teams at 8 and 2. Let's go live. It's Fairleigh Dickinson taking on Drexel. Thomas Di Giacomo versus Jack Ward from Drexel.
Yeah, Puckett, this is kind of this under-the-radar matchup. We're talking about Tennessee and Vanderbilt. We're excited to see how those 2 9 and 2 squads go after each other. But Thomas DiGiacomo and Jack Ward, both 8 and 2. This is a sneaky good rivalry right here between Fairleigh Dickinson and Drexel. Both teams 8 and 2. Fairleigh Dickinson playing with the Bucks, Drexel with the Packers, and Drexel with the ball first. Aaron Rodgers in the offense going to work here early on.
Yeah, Jack Ward was one of my guys that I saw week 1. He was one of my guys to watch. As you see, he's 8 and 2. Come to find out he's played in FNF. He finished top 6 in the Eagles Club. So he hasn't had much experience, but he has good enough experience in the competitive Madden team to say, hey, he might can make some noise.
Meanwhile, Thomas, also a competitive player, sophomore accounting major at Fairleigh Dickinson. That school is located in Hackensack, New Jersey, the Fighting Knights of FDU. 3rd and long here on this first drive of the game.
Jack Ward audible to that Z spot. Making some hot route adjustments. The delayed tight end, the tight end doesn't go on a delay really.
The pressure gets to Rodgers and a 3 and out to start the game. All right, we're jumping over here. Penn State and Purdue, our first look at this matchup.
Big interception right there, Purdue.
Penn State represented by Colin Woodburn, Cheval Vyas of Purdue. Penn State coming in. Collins have got a 7-2 record. Cheval of Purdue just 1-8. But hey, maybe a chance to spring an upset here in week 3. Going with an alternate uniform look with the Packers. This is Purdue and Cheval Vyas with the ball. And an early scoring chance here, a little more than 1 minute gone by in the first quarter.
And Penn State using the defense that I haven't really seen a lot this year. The 4-3 even, it was added last year in the Madden at the end of the season. I want to see how this defense basically see what it can do.
All right, spread them out here on 2nd and 9. In the red zone, Purdue just 1-8, but looking to go up early.
Looks like going to the Baja.
There goes Shaq Griffin the other way. And Purdue had a scoring chance early on, but it's Penn State and Colin Woodburn with the pick 6 to get on the board first in this Big Ten showdown.
All right, I like that right there. We got our first points of the quarter. Actually, this is already a 3-0 game. Tennessee trying to answer back. Tom Brady at the helm will join this one live. Adam, take it away.
Yeah, here's our featured game of Heat 1, Puckett. Tennessee and Vanderbilt, both 9-0. We heard from both players before this one got started. Justin Emmanuel of Vandy, Connor Myers of Tennessee. I tell you, as we listen to them, user, Justin Emmanuel, Connor Myers had great respect for Justin at Vanderbilt coming into this one. He feels like he might have maybe just have nothing to lose here.
Rocky Top, he did, and it seems like his game plan, what he said in the interview, is working. He said, I want to get him in the red zone, and I want to hold him at 3. Even though we didn't get to see it, I see that Justin got 3 up on the board and not 7. So obviously, he's sticking to his game plan, and it's a win for him.
Yeah, and a chance to take an early lead here. Connor, the sophomore accounting major from Tennessee.
He's in field goal range. He has to play smart with this ball. You know, don't be timid. Don't be scared. But, you know, you can still try to get some points, but you know, don't be reckless with the ball and turn it over.
It's a showdown for the state of Tennessee. University of Tennessee out of Knoxville, Vanderbilt from the city of Nashville. Neither team, though, playing with the Titans. We're going Bucks-Packers. Nothing surprising here.
Rocky Top running that West Coast, the unorthodox offense that he's running to that, out of into that far and near. Everyone usually, when they run that West Coast, they're going to be running bunch.
See how aggressive he gets here on 3rd and 7. You mentioned, user, he's got to be smart. Got to make sure you come away with points here.
It looks like he's running West Coast. Nice.
Big conversion inside the 15 to Mike Evans.
And even though Rocky Top isn't a pro, as you know, Justin, he was up there. It seemed like he had a whole lot of confidence and swag.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to run double post, see if he can stop it. I just been steamrolling everybody, and that's pretty much what I'm expecting to do. Listen,
he's not wrong, though. He's not wrong. He has been steamrolling people.
That's true. But Rocky Top looked like he came to play, and that's a dot.
Almost to the end zone, down to the 1-yard line, and 1st and goal here for Tennessee. Over on the right side of the screen, you can see Pittsburgh and Virginia Tech, an ACC battle as Pitt looks to get on the board first late in the first quarter. Well, let's see with under a minute to play in the first if Tennessee and Connor Myers can jump ahead of Justin Emmanuel and Vandy.
Go back down, blow up. Well, he fights for it.
Did he get? He did. He just got in, just got across for the score. It looked like that was Leonard Fournette plunging across the goal line.
And right now, Rocky Top, he's fortunate that he got that fight forward animation, because normally that would be blowed up. You know, the way that defense is set up that Justin had. Normally, you know, you can blow him up in the backfield, but good thing Rocky Top got that animation, and therefore he got 7.
Yeah, now we jump full screen over to this ACC battle, Virginia Tech and Pittsburgh. Tyree Saunders at VT, 6-3. Rico Shuley, 7-2 for Pitt. Another Bucks-Packers showdown, 3rd and 7, inside the 10.
You go audible into that strong close.
Brady
Nice.
fires out of the backfield. Ronald Jones to the 1.
You know,
Down to the 2.
ever since Thrones put out that 49er ebook a couple weeks ago, it seemed like a whole bunch of people hopping into that strong close.
Tyree Saunders, member of the Virginia Tech football team, they're on defense right now with the Packers. He's a freshman at Tech. And they're going to lose yards there with Jones. 2nd and goal from the 4.
I think he's going to take this to the second quarter.
So a scoreless first quarter. Oh, he might try to snap it here with 1. Nope, they're going to go to the second quarter. So they'll move all the way to the other end of the field, and it'll be 2nd and goal at the 4 for Pittsburgh playing with the Bucks.
User, what's the play of choice in this scenario?
It's not a delay when he ran the play before. You have to kind of go heavy and run the ball all 4 times to be real. Because once you get inside the 5, you want to make them think that you're going to pass the ball, but you're really just trying to hand the ball off and be safe. Because it's way too congested. It's way too congested. Like if you got some, bubblegum plays, what I like to call speed option, read option, any of those jet sweeps, this is the time to run it.
Okay.
See if they can convert here. These kind of matchups with these records in week 3, 6-3 Virginia Tech, 7-2 Pitt. These are the important ones as you try to fight for positioning in the top 4 of your league or your region.
Right.
There's a score. Jones along the right side, and Pitt gets on the board first in this showdown.
All right, let's take our screen back over to Fairleigh, Dickinson, and Drexel after that kick. In fact, let's go right now. It could be scoring opportunity here.
Yeah, this is for Fairleigh Dickinson. Thomas DiGiacomo. Oh, lost the ball. Drexel's got it. And a turnover in the red zone. Oh, that's a big one there early in the second quarter. Keeps it scoreless.
Thomas being reckless with the ball, you got to be safe. You got to be smart with the ball when you get down there.
All right, let's go back to this Penn State Purdue game. As Chris Carson busted up the right sideline. Can he get to the end zone? No, down to the 5. Penn State's looking to take a big lead in the second quarter of this one. 1 minute gone by second quarter, already up 7-3. Colin Woodburn with that 7-2 record against just 1-8 Purdue. And looking to go up 14-3 here.
A 1 trap. It'll be 1.
And he's in. Carson for 6. And the extra point gives them an 11-point lead, 14-3. So Penn State looking good in the first half.
Nice. Jack Ward, he was about to give up 6.
Yep.
Fortunate for him that Thomas wasn't secure with the ball, ran down there. He fumbled with Tom Brady. Now Jack Ward has the chance to go down here and get 7. I don't know how he got turned over the first time, but obviously he needs to put some points up on this board. Both of these guys 8-2. So neither one of them can afford to lose this game.
Yeah, this is the wide open good matchup. Down the seam and down to the 6-yard line.
All right, User, I got to ask you about this man. This is Robert Tonyan. He's caught touchdown passes in the last 3 games of the real NFL. I know you're playing a lot of MUT, but what were this guy's stats in the game? Is he a solid tight end?
Robert Tonyan?
Yeah.
I would not believe he's a solid tight end. Really, there's only about 3 solid tight ends in NFL rigs, in my opinion. It would be Kelsey, Kittle, and
maybe Waller in Las Vegas.
Yeah, Waller in Las Vegas. But it's one more guy.
Andrews.
Andrews. That guy, Andrews. That's what I was thinking of. But
There's no COVID in Madden. I like that part of it.
There's an opportunity here for Drexel and our guy Jack Ward. This is that sneaky good matchup we were talking about. Both 8-2 teams. Fairleigh Dickinson and Drexel. And Drexel's got the ball after a red zone fumble by Thomas DiGiacomo and FDU. Can they convert in what's been a scoreless first half, nearing 2 minutes to play until halftime?
And so both of these guys are 8-2. I'm assuming both of them lost to Justin and Connor. That's why they're both 8-2. At least that's what you would hope so. Because if not, they could have had some more L's coming.
Mm-hmm.
But if they have, they're pretty much fighting for the third spot in the SEC right now.
Well, right now, these two teams just trying to come away with some points here. 2-minute warning and a 3rd and goal here for Jack Ward and Drexel.
This is such a tough situation, 3rd and 9. You know, when you see this read, you got to lace it in there because the window is going to be tight.
Yeah, well, tight formation here. Motion one guy out wide.
Take off.
Rogers might be able to take off. There he goes to the end zone for 6. And our first points in this 8-2 showdown between Fairleigh Dickinson and Drexel. Rogers on the keeper.
Jack Ward coming up big, scrambling with Aaron Rodgers, getting 7.
Mason Crosby will add the extra point, and it is 7 for Drexel with less than 2 minutes to play. Back to our featured game of Heat 1, Vandy and Tennessee.
Justin driving down here in the red zone. Wonder if he can answer back with 7 of his own.
You know, he was talking about it in that feature beforehand, user, about how his weakness is he tends to throw the ball to the other team too much, which is a pretty bad weakness to have in football.
Yeah, but I think
he said he
everybody
tends
got
to
that
do it
weakness.
too much in the red. Sometimes he tends to do it too much in the red zone. So let's see what happens here.
Dot.
Not that time. A dot to his own guy, and there's another lead change as Adams finds the back of the end zone.
Yeah, Adam, I think a whole bunch of people, whether you're playing video games or in real life, I think everybody would say, I got that problem.
Turnovers will kill you. All right, chance here for FDU. Last time they were in the red zone, user fumbled it away with a golden opportunity for points. Drexel took advantage, went down the field and scored on an Aaron Rodgers keeper. But now here's Thomas DiGiacomo and FDU with a chance to strike back, and only 31 seconds left in the half.
DiGiacomo, I love that name. That's what I'm calling him from now on, man. Yeah, DiGiacomo, obviously he know how to move the ball and he's good on offense because this is his 2nd time getting in the red zone. He just has to be smart and not turn it over like he did last time.
All right, see if they can have a little bit more ball security here. Beautiful throw. Godwin in the corner for a touchdown. That was well done.
Great stuff there as we're going to see another score from Fairleigh Dickinson. But let's go over to Florida, Kentucky. A little scrambled. Or will it be? Yeah, there you go, Rogers. Get on the move.
You see, Puckett is the fortune teller out here.
Well, you saw it. You just see the field. You know what to do, right?
Yeah, you saw it a little before I saw it. Okay.
It's our first look at this SEC matchup, Florida, Kentucky. And, you know, we got kind of something similar here, user, that we did in the Penn State Purdue game. We've got Kentucky and Evan Vogelsberg at 7-2. Zachary Barenberg at Florida just 1-8, but it's a defensive slugfest through almost one quarter here. Although Kentucky with that much better 7-2 record, and Evan Vogelsberg looking to jump on the board here. And they will with Jones around the right side.
These jerseys, it could be a lot of turnovers, especially.
I was going to ask, is this part of the strategy, user? Like, are they trying to confuse each other, or is this just bad luck?
I think if it's on, it could be bad luck because both of them picked the color rush jerseys.
Yeah.
You know, I'm one of those guys. I've had a couple players try to do this when I'm playing them. Like, hey man, let me try to mess with the jersey because that helps me. Nah, I don't like that.
We'll get back to Jersey talk in a moment. First, we got to talk about a guy who played in Jersey. Jeremy Shockey also landed up playing for your squad, the greatest Carolina tight end in the history of Carolina. You agree with that one, great user?
Please, Puckett, stop disrespecting my P's, okay? I told you, he limped in there. He limped in there.
He's disrespecting Wesley Walls, user.
Oh my goodness, y'all brought up Wesley Walls. Like we didn't have my guy who just went to Seattle and got hurt. I can't even think of his name right now. Y'all know who I'm talking about.
Olsen.
Yeah, Greg Olsen. Greg Olsen. We forgive you, so does Greg.
Yeah, he's the best tight end in Carolina history.
There you go. Catching a ton from Cam. Here's a look, though, at Shocky's stats. And you guys can get yourself Jeremy Shockey. All you got to do, stay in the chat, stay positive. We've got our friends at EA dishing out some goods, not only here on twitch.tv/levelnextgg, but also EA Madden NFL's Twitch channel. Let's go to our 6-box here to show you all of the games underway. The big one in the top left as Vanderbilt takes on Tennessee. And I think that's where we're going next as we jump into the big screen. Will they get in again?
Justin got a turnover quick. Last time we saw him, he was throwing a dot in the back of the end zone. All of a sudden, he has the ball again in scoring position.
Almost got that one on a laser to the back corner. Converted in the red zone last time to take this 10-7 lead. Let's see if Justin Emmanuel can extend the lead to 10. Second and goal here, just precious seconds remaining in the first half.
Coming. Does he cover the slant? Running back. Oh, that should have been interception.
Almost threw a pick. And he almost kind of dropped back into that weakness he was talking about earlier, throwing the ball to the other team, especially in the red zone.
8 seconds.
Away with it, perhaps. 8 seconds, third and goal. Might have someone uncovered over there on the left side, right in the slot.
Good shit.
Gets rid of it just in the nick of time before getting sacked. And with 4 seconds left, what do you think? Field goal here just to get the points?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You have to take 3. You know, you're playing another guy that's 9-0. You got to respect him.
Yeah, so a chip shot from Mason Crosby. It should be 13-7 going to the half in our featured game. And there's a pick just going to the Baja.
If you got a little stuff
Not
to go
quite.
with him. He tried to.
Not quite, but
yeah, you got to work on it a little bit.
Pittsburgh is already up 14-0 and a chance for more after that interception as we go back to Fairleigh, Dickinson, and Drexel. Tie score already in the third quarter, almost midway through.
You said before, these guys, they're fighting for number 3 seed. So we got 2 great games going on. You know, guys fighting for the number 1 seed. Then you got these guys fighting for the number 3 seed.
Yeah, those teams with the 2 and 3 losses, we talked about it. It's important to make sure that you stay on the right side of the win-loss column, because those are the types of records we're looking at that are fighting for those 3 and 4 spots in their respective conferences or regions.
Wow.
Really nice pick there. Drexel coming away with the turnover. That's another turnover in plus territory for Thomas DiGiacomo and Fairleigh Dickinson, giving it right back as the game stays tied at 7.
Hey,
Let's
that
go
was
over
some
to-
wild defense from Jack Ward right there, but it worked out for him.
We got Penn State versus Purdue, gentlemen. Let's jump over to that one live. It looks like it's going to be Purdue with the ball and the score. Another Rodgers run. This one could be tied up in just a moment.
The read option. Good play call in the red zone. You notice that the guys don't have their defense set to conservative. Unless it's QB wrap, you better make sure you have your defense set to conservative. Otherwise, you can have that play right there where the quarterback just walks in unaccounted for.
Going for 2.
Try to tie it up with 2 minutes to go in the third.
Curl.
Rodgers throws this time, and that Valdez-Scantling, it is. So 14-14 with 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. And we got an upset brewing in this one, user. 1-8 Purdue. Cheval Bias tying it up in the second half.
Taking it over to Virginia Tech versus Pittsburgh. It's Pittsburgh getting hit on the throw, and this one's going the other way. Is this one to the Baja?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is now.
Well, see if it's going to stop the
You
goal.
can't
No,
get
he
caught
can
by
run
an
it
offensive lineman. You can't get caught by an offensive lineman. He won't, and that's a big pick 6 because Virginia Tech was in danger of going down 21-0.
And look at the clock. 0 seconds on the clock.
What a pivotal play.
One of the biggest mistakes you can make while playing Madden, giving somebody some points right before the end of half.
Let's see if Drexel can convert on a mistake. They can't. They turn it right back over, and this one might go to the Baja.
Yeah, Jack Ward making a bad read, and Thomas DiGiacomo coming up with a big interception to go up top. I think it's 14-7 now.
I like that he's playing with his food there, slowing down a little bit, emoting on his way in.
A lot of turnovers in this one.
Oh, man.
You know I love my in-game trash talk here, fellas. Let's keep jumping around. I'd love to take us over to Florida versus Kentucky. It's the yellowish-green bowl.
Got to pay attention to the helmets in this one, Puckett. If you're not looking at the helmets to identify your guys, then you're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, I would love to see the stats on this because my guy from Florida, Zachary, he's 1-8. Kentucky, Evan, he's 7-2. And right now, he's just not going up. Maybe he can go up 14 points, but maybe these jerseys is the reason why it's too close, and he's been making some bad reads. But he doesn't make a bad read
there, though. That's a great read for 6. Evan Vogelsberg, 7-2 already in his first Madden tourney and looking good in that one against Florida.
Oh.
All right, we're back to our featured game here. We saw Green Bay and Vanderbilt with Justin Emmanuel get the field goal right before the half to make it 13-7. But here's our guy, Rocky Top, trying to jump in front. Two 9-0 players here.
Yeah, Rocky Top needs 7 here.
Yeah, this is kind of the point in the game, and especially in a matchup like this.
Oh, my goodness.
You can't have that, though. A critical turnover, making the tackle to only allow the defense to get back to midfield. But, man, we talked about you got to get points there, but the turnover's so critical. You're down by 1 score, third quarter against a guy who's been just almost unbeatable in this tournament in Justin Emmanuel. And here's a golden opportunity for Justin to take what could be a commanding lead here in the second half.
Wow, that was big.
No pressure, but the deflection ends up in the hands of his tight end for a couple of yards. All right, back in this Virginia Tech-Pittsburgh game, and look at this. This game was close to being 21-0 Pittsburgh, but then a pick 6 at the end of the half made it 14-7. And there's Adams going downtown to tie this game at 14.
And we were talking about close games, gentlemen. This is a 6-3 Virginia Tech with Tyree Saunders at the helm going up against Pittsburgh's Rico Scooey, who is back again on the main camera. Let's take it back to Florida and Kentucky, though, for the moment.
That's a boot.
And another turnover. Goodness, who wants to hold on to the football on offense tonight?
Well, this is what
I was back to around midfield.
This is what I'm expecting from Zachary over there in Florida. He's 1-8. He's been struggling versus these other Madden players. Normally when you start struggling, that trend continues. When you're the Jets, you just don't run off the street.
All right, here's Justin Emmanuel trying to convert off the interception, and they get it in the back of the end zone. What a tremendous play there. As Vandy takes a 2-score lead. Boy, that critical turnover, just a possession ago for Connor Myers in Tennessee. And Justin Emmanuel does what great players do. You capitalize on mistakes, and now it'll be 20-7 after the extra point.
Yeah, that was big. When Connor threw that interception to the running back on the Texas drive. Sometimes when you see, you just need to hold on to it and just take the sack, because that interception most likely is going to end up costing them this game.
All right, user, we got a good showdown here in the Big Ten. Thought we might have an upset brewing with Purdue, just 1-8 in the tournament. Coming back to tie the game at 14 last time we were here, but here's Penn State responding. Colin Woodburn, 7-2 record so far, but misses the extra point, so only a 6-point game.
And I feel like missed extra points was the theme of week 2. That's the first one we've seen, but we'll be counting throughout the night. This one's still slowly developing. We're going to be bouncing around back and forth. Chat, let us know, which team are you most impressed by so far? We'll be watching all of our games here in Heat 1 of 3 tonight.
All right, back to this game that really turned when it looked like Pittsburgh would have a chance to maybe run away with this one, user. It could have been 21-0 going into the half, but at the end of the half, Virginia Tech gets a pick 6. They just tied it up, and here's Pitt just trying to get off the mat here after being knocked down a bit.
Yeah, this is reminiscent of last night with Clef. He was out there fighting for the Bucks championship. He was up 14-0 with the ball, and all of a sudden he turned it over, and a whirlwind happened.
But a sack on third down and maybe a chance for Virginia Tech to get the ball back.
Oof, 3rd and 12 run up the gut. That didn't go well.
Yeah, this game, the story of this game has been turnovers. Fairleigh, Dickinson, and Drexel.
Yeah, Jack Ward running the ball on 3rd and 12. Obviously, You know, he thought he saw something, hit him with that Obi-Wan trap. Yep. The Giacomo was ready for it.
Going for it.
Here we go, 4th and 11. I mean, you got 3:22 to go, 4th quarter. Down 7. Let's see what Drexel and Jack Ward can come up with here. Rogers
Tunyon wide open.
It's picked.
Yeah, last time they tried this, Tunyon was wide open. This time, Fairleigh Dickinson, they get in the right position. Excellent interception coming in near user.
Yeah, Thomas has been baiting Jack with that. He gave it to him the first 2 times, and so Jack got comfortable thinking, hey, I can just keep sending this tight end down the middle of the field on the seam streak, and it'll be open.
That's a big possession here. You got to have it here. If you look at the score, user, for this Vanderbilt Tennessee, this 9-0 showdown, down 20-7, a little more than 3 minutes to go, 4th quarter. Our guy Connor Myers has to have it here. He's got to get 6.
Oh man.
But instead, another turnover, and that might do it for this one.
Yeah, and that's
3 minutes to play, down 20-7, and a turnover in the red zone.
Yeah, that's the super bait, you know. Anything in the middle of the field, man, those guys are starting to animate and jump on everything, so you can't make that mistake.
Could have a really good finish coming here, user, in this Penn State Purdue game. Ooh. What a throw and what a catch down inside the 10-yard line. And you mentioned it, Puckett, the last time Penn State scored, missing the extra point. That could end up being huge in this game with just over 30 seconds to go in a 6-point game. Here's Jones spinning down to the 2-yard line.
With the misdirection.
30 seconds left.
With a touchdown and an extra point, Purdue could spring a huge upset here. Just 1-8 in the tournament, but Jones goes nowhere on 2nd down.
That's great defense by Penn State to shoot the gap.
29 seconds to play. Back to the 6-yard line. 3rd down and goal. Still 2 timeouts remaining.
I believe in Aaron Jones.
All bias playing for Purdue.
Ooh, is that
a dot? That's a dot to the end zone to Adams, and we are tied at 20 with just seconds remaining. And now an all-important extra point to give Purdue the lead.
All right, gentlemen, they take the lead at the end here. We got to jump over to this Virginia Tech and Pittsburgh. One of our tight matchups here. Again, it's Pittsburgh with the ball and going for a touchdown.
Look at Howard, breakaway speed toward the sideline to get inside the 5-yard line. Just underway, 4th quarter. Pittsburgh blew a 14-0 lead, but back on its feet here and a chance to go in front one more time. This is Rico Shuley, 7-2 in the tournament. Into an I formation. 1st and goal at the 3. Jones off right tackle, stretches and almost gets in. It'll be 2nd and goal from the 1.
User, talk to me about the clock here. We see 4:10 remaining in the 4th quarter. How many possessions are you expecting to have if you're going to let this one go in, or do you have to play strong defense at the goal line?
You need to play the strongest defense you can right here at the goal line, because you're promised 1 possession. That's it.
Fullback dive. It's Jones. First man through, and Pittsburgh goes back in front.
Because, see, the guy for Pittsburgh, Rico, he can literally let him go down here, use about a minute or something, score, and then take the whole rest of the 2 minutes, kick a field goal. GG's.
We'll keep our eyes on Pittsburgh, 7-2, looking to go to 8-2. That's where these 2 squads are right now, and it's Drexel with the ball, down 10.
And going on the ground with just 1:35 to go. Having to hurry up. Sense of urgency here for Drexel.
It's a
down
nice
10.
pass lead. Jack Ward.
Adams breaking away, and he's going to take it to the end zone. And we've got a game here in the final 1:24 now. Drexel should be able to cut this to a field goal deficit. Jack Ward hanging around, but user, the problem for him is he's only got 1 timeout remaining with 1:24 left.
Correct. He's going to have to go for an onside, and it's most likely, it's almost impossible to get an onside. And then especially playing regs, that 40-second play clock, if he doesn't get this onside, that is GG's.
I'm never going to say never because of what I saw last week when you guys were watching a 97-yard touchdown with just a few seconds left on the clock. So until I see triple zeros up there at the top of the screen, I'm not going to count anybody out.
All right.
Yeah, I don't think my man Abdul wants that brought up again, Adam. If you could just stop talking about Michigan's fail last week. Sorry, back to this, though.
And
we love you,
as
Abdul.
you predicted, onside kick not recovered. So Drexel and Jack Ward are going to need a miracle here. They can't run. It'll be close to whether or not they can run off all the clock.
Well, he can run it all off. Yeah,
Hand it off to Jones.
Yeah,
I think with that play getting it down to 120, I think now you're right.
He can nail it.
So this might allow Fairleigh Dickinson and Thomas DiGiacomo to hang on and move to 9-2.
And I was just looking, gentlemen, in the conferences, I'm talking ACC, Pac-12, Big 10, Big 12, SEC, we're seeing the top 4 move on. But if you're in the regions, like we see Fairleigh Dickinson and Drexel, it's only the top 2. So a lot of pressure to get this win. Fairleigh Dickinson is going to be celebrating hard tonight.
Yeah, this is a separation game for sure.
Oh, so it's only top 2 for the region. And that's why all the goons is in the region.
Fournette for the final carry, and that will finish this one off. It'll be a 3-point win for Thomas DiGiacomo and Fairleigh Dickinson.
Big win there for the sophomore accounting major, Thomas DiGiacomo. Congratulations on your victory tonight. We got a few more games finishing up here. This is just our first heat, and remember, I still got a Shockey to give out. We'll tell you who won that in just a moment. In the meantime, it's Jones with the ball again for Virginia Tech. Down 7, 1:53 on the clock. User, if he gets into the end zone, do you go for 2 or do you go for OT?
And you got to test it. You got to at least go out there and see if it's something you like on offense. Hey, man, I'm at least, if I'm in the position, I got to at least get to look and see whether or not it's a good call or not.
They have that opportunity here as Jones rumbles down to the 5-yard line again. Got to start thinking about the clock here too, User. You don't want to give Pittsburgh a ton of time after you score.
And Tyree being smart, put on that true clock feature. He's going to run this ball first down, guarantee. He hasn't made any hot routes. He burns the timeout.
And now it's kind of
right
the balance of running clock, but you also got to make sure you score here.
Yeah, he burned the timeout. I wouldn't have burnt the timeout because 48 seconds, he still would have had plenty of time. You want to make sure this is it. But now, him calling that timeout, he's made sure that Virginia Tech can get the ball back, and even if he does score, it's a possibility he could give up 3.
All right, well, 48 seconds to play. Pittsburgh may use another timeout if they don't get in here. Rogers going to throw for it this time and throws a pick in the end zone. Oh, are you kidding me? They got so close, and Pittsburgh is going to hang on. There are 3 timeouts left, but my goodness, what a huge turn of events here down near the goal line.
We've seen disaster in this area, though. Rico has to play smart.
And if you can stop the clock 3 times, as long as you don't give up a first down, you might get another crack at it. Wow, what a defensive stand for Pittsburgh and Rico Shuley. Jones, and that should ice it right there. He might take this all the way. Ronald Jones down the middle of the field. Can he outrun the rest of the defense? He will as he angles left and wisely slides down to run out the rest of the clock.
See what he did there, Todd Gurley? You see what he did? All right, congrats to our man Rico. Let's go over. This is Florida and Kentucky. It was a little one-sided, but it's our last game here in the first heat, and Kentucky's looking to break the 30 mark. There you go.
Right on cue, Devontae Adams. Well, this is not going to be the upset that we saw in the Penn State Purdue game, where a 1-8 team topples a team with a heavy winning record. Kentucky 7-2. Evan Vogelsberg taking care of business against 1-8 Florida.
And this is big because if you remember, at the top of the show, we showed you the SEC standings. Vanderbilt and Tennessee were 9-0. Third place was locked in by Kentucky at the moment at 7-2. Improving now to 8-2. He is within range to break into the top 2 here as the conference is closing out their games.
Yeah, so Kentucky cruising here. How about the showing here for our guy, Evan Vogelsberg, playing in his first Madden tournament at UK. And looking really impressive here.
And this is what you're supposed to do. You know, when you're 7-2 and you're playing against a guy 7-1, you're supposed to dominate like this. As he gets another interception to the crib, you know, don't play no games with him. Hey, I'm better. I'm 7-2. You're 1-8. Let me show you the difference.
That's our man, Zachary Barenberg, giving up the other interception. Fun fact about him, he's a senior economics major who loves cheese, and he just gave the ball for another pick 6 to the Cheeseheads. We're going to jump out of this, guys, and we are going to look again at the beautiful man with luscious blonde locks. It's Jeremy Shockey, who could be on your roster right now. User, all you got to do is stay positive in the chat, and we got friends like RG. We got my man Chad in the chat as well, hooking people up. Would you put Shockey into your lineup, or do you got a tight end who's already got that position on lock for your mutt team?
Shockey, he would be in the lineup. He'd be like number 3 or the second tight end. Chris Cooley, I think it's Chris Cooley. I hope I'm saying his name right. Yeah, Chris Cooley is easily the best tight end right now, Mutt.
There you go. Jeremy Shockey card is being given out. Shout out to everyone in the EA Madden NFL chat. We also have a card going out in our Level Next GG chat, and your winners are in the Level Next chat. We got RockFan08 here on EA Madden NFL. Shout out to my man VX Rowdy XV. Thank you for coming back here in week 3 for conference play. All of the games are wrapping up here in Heat 1, and we just did our first of 4 giveaways. Welcome, everybody. It's Puckett, your host, alongside the great commentators. We got the one great user in the middle, and, of course, Adam B. Witten on Twitter, if you don't already follow him. Joining us again, Adam, it's been a pretty interesting first round. I mean, we started things off here with an undefeated battle between Justin Emanuel and Connor Myers from Tennessee, and it seemed that the guy with a little more comp experience was feeling good as Vanderbilt gets the big win over Tennessee in that one.
It was around, and you really got to tip your hat to Tennessee in that one for hanging tough, because based on the way both players were approaching this one, it certainly seemed like, even though they had the same round, that Vanderbilt was the heavy favorite as you listened to both guys talk before the matches began. And I'll tell you, you really got to hand it to Connor. He hung around for a while, had some opportunities, but then, you know, the defense was just too suffocating, had a late turnover that really kind of allowed Justin to build that 2-possession lead. And once you allow the game to get more than 1 possession away from you against a player like Justin, it makes it really, really tough to make a comeback.
Rico Shuley from Pittsburgh having another big win. You saw the last-minute interception. He kneeled the ball. It could have been 28-14 at the end of that one, but that win will give a little bit more separation. As you saw, Syracuse and Georgia Tech were nipping at their heels. Syracuse, Mark Zodi was at 6-3. Meanwhile, Georgia Tech's Kalen DeSaucer came in at 5-4, and he was the one who walked away with the victory. So not only do you improve to 8-2 for Pittsburgh in the ACC, but also the Pitt player is now going to see the people behind him take another step back, feeling pretty good about your opportunity to move in to the conference championships after next week. Let's take a look, though, at our top 5 plays from week 2 as we go to break. On the other side of it, we got Heat 2 kicking off. Don't go anywhere.